Hi, welcome to the Frontier Co-op Kitchen. I'm Chef Kurt Friese. Today we're going to make a squash bisque, and not just any squash bisque, but one with garam masala, which sounds really exotic and strange, but it's not all that difficult to understand. It's just a blend of spices. In fact, that's what the words garam masala mean, is hot or spicy blend. So we're starting out with some very simple ingredients, basic vegetables, carrots, onions, potatoes, and butternut squash, one of my favorites. But all of these things I got at our local farmer's market, and I really got to encourage you to do that anytime you can. Get your food from right down the road. You'll trust it more. You know the farmer. There's something almost spiritual about shaking the hand that raised the food. One of the nice things about this soup is that it since it's going to be pureed, it really doesn't matter much how you cut the stuff. Just chunk it up. Always keep your fingers curled back. Nothing more dangerous in a kitchen than a dull knife. You might think that the sharp one is the dangerous one, but you're going to make a lot more mistakes. You're going to slip off the food product. That's when the accidents happen. So you can use any kind of squash for this recipe, but I'm a big fan of butternut. I think it's a great flavor, and it's great bang for your buck too. A lot of squashes you find, like an acorn squash, delicious stuff, but it's mostly seed pod, and you got to scoop all of that stuff out, and you're not left with very much meat. This thing, that's the seed pod right down there, just that little bit there. This is all flesh, and it's really delicious flesh too. So I'm going to use a serrated knife because it's kind of tough. Cut off the top part. And as I said, we just need chunks here because the whole thing is going to get pureed. Onions are very easy to cut. Take off both ends, split it down the middle, and then it's easy to peel off the skin. Peel our celery. Just a little bit, and all we're doing there is removing those stringy parts that are on the surface of the celery. Just a quick chop. To me, there's no such thing as too much garlic, but you can vary this recipe any way you want. And we don't even need to chop this up because it's going to get pureed, so we're just going to smash it like that. Okay, so we got all our vegetables ready for the soup. Now it's time to talk about spices, and I am really excited about garam masala. It's a blend of spices that you might be more familiar with because it's used in curry. But there are thousands of varieties of garam masala, probably as many different blends of it as there are cooks in India. But we're using it in not a very traditional Indian dish, but we want to get those flavors. Now, Frontier does carry its own pre-mixed garam masala. Easy to use, tastes great. I like to mix it myself. I hope you'll try it too. There's not a whole lot to it. I love using the Frontier Co-op spices. They're fresh. They got the widest assortment of organics available of any line. They're ethically sourced. And hey, they're a co-op, you know? So you really can't go wrong. That's coriander there. They also have these wonderful little built-in grinders on their pepper and such. Really handy. So you do a little black pepper. So there's our spice blend. Tasty, tasty stuff. We're just going to throw everything in the pot. Carrots and garlic. I'm going to start with just an even teaspoon of the spice, and then we're going to adjust it later. Need just enough water to cover. We're just going to bring it up to a boil, let it simmer for a little while, probably around 20 minutes till everything's nice and tender. Okay, it's been boiling away for about 20 minutes now. Everything's getting nice and tender. You can see it all breaks apart easily with a spoon. Now we know we're ready to puree it. Now I like to use what's called an immersion blender. There's the bay leaf. Knew it would turn up. See how fast that works? Got our heat turned way down now, because once it's pureed, it could scorch, so we want to watch out for that. Okay, nice and smooth, so we want to give it a taste, see if we want to adjust the seasonings at all. I think I want to add a little bit more of the spice. Remember, it's up to you. It's a matter of taste. You want a little more, you want a little less. Never be afraid to experiment in your kitchen. So there's lots of great things to love about this soup, but one of those great things is that it's completely vegan, it's completely fat-free. On the other hand, if you want to go the other way, you could make it with chicken stock. Add a little cream, make it rich and kind of rib-sticking food, all right? So there you got it. Some wonderful squash bisque with a little garam masala. You can find this recipe and plenty of other great ones at frontiercoop.com.